Hi, my name is Elon Weintraub. I'm one of the founders of the Shas Initiative, and this is going to be part 2 of So You Want to Learn Talmud. If you don't want to learn Talmud, then you want to go back and watch part 1, and then you will want to learn Talmud, and then you can come back to part 2. So we'll just wait for you to go do that. Okay, so you want to learn Talmud. So this shiur is going to actually look at stuff inside. So there are a couple preliminary things you'll need to know. If you're not so comfortable with that, then we will have other shiurim just talking about stuff in the Talmud that you can follow along with, or, you know, just to listen to. Brian already put one of those up, and we're going to make some more. We have different interesting topics to talk about, but this shiur is going to look at stuff actually in the Talmud. Eventually, we'll come to that. But today we're going to talk about what preliminary stuff you'll need, and we're also going to talk about some websites that might help you learn better. So let's begin. So what preliminary stuff do you need to learn Talmud? Can you just jump right in? Well, some people think that you need to learn all of Torah, all of Mishnah, and all of Halacha, and only then can you learn Talmud. Other people think that you can just jump right in right away, you know? You can just grab an English Talmud or whatever, maybe you speak Aramaic, grab a Talmud and just start reading it all the way through, right? Both of them are right. To really fit it in the halachic perspective and to understand it, right? Because, as we said, it's not so much a collection of laws, it's a collection of how people think. Really, you should know the laws so that you want to learn how people think about the laws. However, Judaism has so many laws and so many halachot that if you spend all your time learning halacha, it probably would take you a very long time to learn Talmud. And similarly, if you know nothing, then you'll certainly get something out of reading Talmud, but you won't have any perspective at all. So I like to take the middle approach and say that you should know 3 things. First, you should know the Mishnah that you're going to be learning, the Mishnah on the Talmud you're going to be learning. You should know the Torah, at least bits of it, right? Mainly Parshat Ki Tetzei Ki Tavo, and also Achrim al Kedoshim, particularly if you're learning something from those laws. And you should know Rabbi Yishmael Omer. You can find it in any Sidor. It's at the beginning of Sifra, and he goes through 13 principles that the Talmud uses to elucidate halachas from the Torah. And you should know those principles pretty well, because they'll come up all the time. If you don't know them, and you guys want a shiur on the 13 principles, please leave a comment and maybe we'll go do one of those. But if you do have that background, even if your Hebrew is not so good or your Aramaic is not so good, then I think you'll be able to follow along and we'll be able to do this. So hopefully most people have seen it in the Sidor at least once. If not, at least most people have a Sidor. They'll be able to look through that. And we're going to be picking a Mishnah that I think, again, is in the Sidor. So hopefully you guys have seen. And as I said, you probably have seen the Torah at least once or twice. So it's not asking much, but it is asking something from you. So we'll try that. Right now, let's go look at some websites that might help you learn better. So here we are on the internet. The first site I want to show you is HebrewBooks.org. HebrewBooks.org. And then you click on Shas. And then here you can get the text of the Gemara, or you could click on PDF, and you can get a PDF which shows the actual daf that you have in a Vilna Gemara. And this is what we're going to be using in the shiur, so I will just be doing this, and you can follow along the little hand that goes on the side. This also has some other stuff that the regular Vilna Gemara does not have, maybe. For example, over here, it gives you the entire verse that you can find in the Torah and exactly where it comes from. So here it says Devarim Vav, and then if you can't see that, you can zoom on top here, depending on what your PDF viewer is like. And then you can see this Devarim Vav Zayin, and you can zoom in an awful lot if you wanted to, or not. So that's very good that they have the PDFs from Moznaim publishers, and you also can get the text, obviously. You can go and get Rambam if you want. And then you can get, actually here they have a bunch of commentaries on the Rambam. So you can get that also. It's very good. As I said, here's the PDF again. The other thing is Hebrew Books has many other books besides just Talmud and Rambam. So you can search for a book. Here I searched for the Sifra, because the introduction to the Sifra is where you can find Rabbi Yishmael Omer that I was telling you about. So it's over here. Rabbi Yishmael Omer B'Shoshe Esrei Midot V'Torah Nidreshet Mikal V'Chomer B'Gzera Shava, and so on. And also, it continues past what you have in your Sidor, and you can even read about a Kal V'Chomer, or a Gzera Shava. Or if you continue in the Sifra, you can read all about Vayikra. And you can search for many other books. There's many, many books here. They're scanned PDFs. You can see that the quality of the text is not great because they're old books. But it is still useful that you can find many, many books online for free. So check out HebrewBooks.org. The next site is halacha.com, spelled the scholarly way to spell Hebrew in English, I guess, to transliterate Hebrew, because it's K-H-A-H. Halacha. And then you can go here, and you can get the entire Talmud Sanchino in English. So we can just click on Bava Bathra, right? And then we can click on Chapter V, which is Chapter 5. And then you can see, here you go. Or you can go by folio, which means daf in English. So you can go to folio 64, and you can see folio 64A. And the other thing it has, if you go down here under folio list, you get an introduction into the text and to the chapters. And Sanchino has some flowery language sometimes. You might notice I've been pointing it out sort of sarcastically as we go. But it is good that you have a Gemara online for free. And it's also good that it doesn't give you too much information, so it makes you think about the translation a little bit. So that's pretty good too. So the next site is a Daf Yomi Advancement Forum. That's dafyomi.co.il. This is Kolel Iyun Hadaf. They're a group of rabbis that learn the Daf Yomi in the morning, and then they spend the rest of their day making this website. Since they've been doing this for so long, they actually completed the entire Daf Yomi cycle. So you can find not just the Daf Yomi, but you can click on Talmud and you can get any Daf you feel like. So let's say go to Kedushin, and then you can get Masechet Kedushin. The two things that are very useful is background to the Daf. So if you want Daf 12, then here you can get the transliterated words that either are not common, and it will give you a translation. So for example, pundayon, you might not know, is this kind of Roman coin. Or if it's a Gemara term, a halachic term, then it will tell you about the term. For example, Yehud, so it says a destitute father in certain circumstances may sell his daughter into servitude for a Jewish master as long as she's a minor. Right? So it will give you background. And the Gemara itself assumes you know all these halachas, so it will just jump right into discussing them. So sometimes background to the daf is useful in that way. You can also get a point-by-point summary. So if we go to the same Daf 12, and then you can see how much is a pruta, and this is why it was discussing pundayons. So over here. And then it goes question, answer, suggestion, rejection. So you can actually come out and you can see an outline of how the Gemara is progressing through as we talk about it. And that's useful too, because if you guys are starting out, sometimes it's not always easy to catch every subtlety of the Gemara. So that's very good for people who are beginners. So it's good that they have that. They also have charts. Sometimes we might need one of these charts. So here, does an Eved Kanani go free by giving kesef and receiving a star shichlor? And these are the different opinions. So it's good to make a chart sometimes, and they have those charts for you. So we can use those. So that's dafyomi.co.il. You should remember that site. The next site that is also very useful is mechonmamre.org. And you can just pull it up. And here, you can get the Bible. You can get the entire Mishnah Torah. You already could get it in the other place, right? But here you can get it with the vowels, so that's useful too. So you can get it with the vowels. So you can get the Mishnah. So here's the Mishnah. You can get the Tosefta, which is all the Mishnahs that didn't make it into the Mishnah. And the Gemara cites them all the time, so you can find them here. You can get the entire Talmud, or just the words of the Talmud, here. And you can get the Jerusalem Talmud, the words of the Jerusalem Talmud here as well. And if you speak French, there's even more stuff that you can get. So here's Ezechiel, which I assume is Yechezkel in French. And then you can see that this is probably the French of Vayhi b'shloshim shana b'revi b'chamisha l'chodesh. So I assume this means something like in the 30th year, on the 4th of the 5th month. So if you speak French, I guess that's also good to have. Then our next site is Wikipedia in Hebrew. I don't know who edits the Wikipedia in Hebrew, but whoever does it must be a Torah scholar. Because, as you see here, I searched for Midot HaTorah Nidreshet Behen. This is Rabbi Shmuel Omer. And you can find information on all 13 Midot, and it's actually accurate. This one I checked before, but in general, the Hebrew Wikipedia for halachic articles is very accurate. It must be edited by a Torah scholar. And you can find all the sources down here. So it comes from the Rambam. They quote Yalkut Shimoni, which is a Midrash. Tosefta, which I told you is a Mishnah, so it didn't make it into the Mishnah. So whoever did this is very proficient in a lot of texts, and it's very good. This is people.usegel.ca/EL/Segel/Talmud/page/Ishmael. Just search for Eliezer Segel. That's that guy. And he has a sample page of Talmud, a sample page of the Shulchan Aruch, a sample page of a Mikrot Gedolot Chumash. And if you click on it, so this is Ein Mishpat. So this is the guy who went through and he was able to find every verse that the Talmud talks about. This is Yehoshua Boaz Mevorach. And this is when he, who he was. He was a Sephardi exile living in Italy. And this is when he lived. And I did not know that. So that's useful to know. You can also find it for Shulchan Aruch he has there. You can find it for Mikrot Gedolot Chumash. You can find it for a Mishnah, all the different commentaries in the Mishnah. So he has a lot of stuff there. You should check it out. Particularly if you're not so familiar with the daf. The next thing is the Bar Ilan online response. This will cost you money, but it is totally worth it. If you are proficient at searching through texts, at searching through Jewish texts, and you want this, this is the premier way to find any Jewish text possible. You can search through here online, so and that is very good. This does not cost any money. If you have an iPhone, an iPad, an iPod, anything of the sort, you want to get this on your way, one word, uvelechtecha bederech, on your way in Hebrew. You can see all the things it has. Here you can see it has a Tanakh, it has a Mishnah, it has a Gemara, it has Midrashim, it has a Rambam, it has Halacha, Musar, Machshava, Kabbalah. All this. And here you go, this is what it looks like. This is the Torah, and you see it has Rashi. It doesn't only have Rashi, it also has Ibn Ezra, Sforno, Or HaChaim, a lot of different commentaries. Onkelos. It goes through, and it has Rashi, Tosfot, and the Gemara. As I said, it has Midrashim, it has Rambam, it has part of the Shulchan Aruch on there. It has books of Musar, like words of ethics. It has a lot of stuff, and it's all free. And they keep adding new content, so that's very cool. Here's yet another useful site. This is called Webshots. Shout out to York University. This is Rav Mordechai Torchiner. I assume that's how you pronounce his name, Torchiner. I know he's associated with York University. He's also associated, obviously, with Kollel of Thornhill. He has this Webshots. It is an index of most of the Talmud. You just click search by category, and then you click, say, family issues, and then you were to click honoring one's parents, and then this is all the laws of honoring one's parents and where you can find it in the Talmud. So whether a child is responsible to spend his own funds, you can find it here. This is definitely useful. You can also just go to alphabetical subject index, and you can click on, say, Ketuva, and then you can click on paying the Ketuva money, and then you can just click on, say, splitting the marital property, and you can get here. So you can go either way, and as I said, it is very useful. Just if you're learning something, you want to know where else in the Talmud is this mentioned, then you can, as I said, let's say you were learning and you came upon about stoning, and you want to know where else in the Talmud is stoning mentioned, and then here is some places. And these are not all the places, because I know there are more places. He has another website called Hammock. So if you go here, you can go to any of the topics he's done. Here's an interesting one, entering the Harabait Vel Tameh, and this is where you can find it in the Talmud. And then also, here's where you can find the Mishnah Torah, and then here's some Rishonim that talk about it, and then here's even Rav Ovadia Yosef talks about it over here. So those are all the different things that you should look at. We will put links to all those in the description of the video. And next time we were going to be starting Gemara Shabbat, Perek 2. And as I said, you may be familiar with the Mishnahs. Okay, so we will see you next time. Got a Talmud video of your own? We'd love to have it. Please send it to us. Our address is in the video description. Now get out there, grab a Talmud, and go learn. We thank you for your time.